Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan and today I am very pleased to announce that the 100 Experts videos are back, ready for Game Week 13. We obviously didn't do it in Game Week 12, there wasn't quite enough time for me to make that video, but yeah, once again I have compiled the data from 100 FPL pundits, experts, content creators to see what they're up to this game week. We're going to look at the top transfer trends, we're going to have a look at the top captaincy picks for the week that a lot of people are going for, and yeah, hopefully this is going to be really helpful. This video always really helps me as well, so hopefully it's going to really help you guys out as well. So if you do enjoy this video, please do leave a like. If you are new around here, please do subscribe as well. And without further ado, let's have a look at who got involved this week. So here we have our 100 experts who got involved this week. I asked a question on Twitter, what is your transfer move for this game week and who is your captain for this game week? And these are the people who very kindly volunteered their information to me. We've got loads of people you might recognise in here. We've got Dan Cross, the moderator of our streams. We've got Mrs. FPL Mate who wanted to get involved this week. FPL Prem Tipster, FPL Anime as a YouTuber there. So yeah, all kinds of people. There's FPL Kimraig who tweeted their response in Welsh to me. So that was pretty interesting as well. So yeah, loads of people getting involved. Yeah, thank you always to everyone who did get involved. Let's have a look at some of these trends. So as we can see here, 55% of our 100 managers are using one transfer this week, 20% are making two transfers, 3% are making three transfers. There's usually only just kind of one person out of the 100 who will make three transfers. Someone goes a little bit crazy, but this time 3 people are going a bit crazy, having a little mini reshuffle, mini wildcard maybe, if that's what you want to call it, and they're bringing in 3 new players this week. 22% are not making a transfer at all this week. That's kind of average, you know, on a usual week, there's usually around 20-25% of managers not making a transfer on any given week, but 0% are using the wild card. So perhaps the wild cards have all dried up among our experts, pundits, whatever you want to call them. I think that the wild cards have near enough dried up by now, so we're not really seeing any at the moment either. So yeah, quite a lot of transfers being made this week, more than usual. I think this is a more than average amount of transfers being used this week. So let's kind of see what kind of moves people are making. But before we do that, let's have a look at the overarching moves that people are making in the entirety of the FPL community. So guys, these stats are taken from the FPL website. As of recording, these are accurate. So these are the most popular transfers in out of every single FPL player in the world. So you're seeing huge numbers here for a very good reason. We are seeing Reece James absolute top of the charts here. You can kind of understand why. He's absolutely smashing it recently. I think a lot of people who are worried about James potentially getting rotated and stuff like that kind of maybe are saying now is the time to get James. I can't bear going without Reece James anymore. We saw him score in the Champions League as well in the midweek. So amazing stuff all around from Reece James. He's on absolute fire, scoring goals, getting assists, charging up the pitch, playing as essentially a striker in many respects, isn't he? Or, you know, at least an advanced midfielder, I guess. So amazing stuff. We've got Trent up there as well and Gallagher. Those 3 players are really the top of all of the players on this list. You know, James, Trent and Gallagher. These are so popular among the among everyone in FPL, right? So yeah, those are the 3 ones a lot of people are getting in. How much do these players match up with our experts though? Do our experts agree with these very popular transfer shouts? Well, let's have a look. Okay, James, Trent, Gallagher and Cancelo. These 4 players are also very popular transfer ins among our experts. So actually, there's a lot of crossover this week. There's out of the top players brought in by the overall community, our experts typically agree that these are good shouts. So it's good to see that a lot of us are on the same page here. Really nice to see that. But there are, however, some players on this list where not a single one of our experts are bringing in. Not a single one of our 100 experts are bringing in these players. Smith Rowe, Bernardo Silva, Rudiger and Chilwell. No one is bringing in those players. Chilwell, you probably understand why. We did unfortunately get the news that he had, well, we saw him get an injury against Juventus in the Champions League. We don't know for sure how long he's going to be out for. The last thing I read that it was, well, I saw one thing where potentially he's out for the rest of the season with an ACL injury. I don't know how true that is. We need to really wait until we get an official word from the club, but it does look like he is going to have a bit of an injury, so no one is bringing him in out of our experts. I know a few people went in on the Chilwell transfer early. Guys, I say this every single week, particularly when there's Champions League games. We say this every week. there is going to be injuries. There's going to be random injuries. There's going to be random happenings midweek. If you make your transfers too early, you will get punished so often, particularly when there's midweek games. So it's a real risk. If you keep doing it, you're going to keep getting punished like this, and that's what's happened. So hopefully, honestly, it's just kind of a lesson learned, and try and help you, not necessarily improve, but help you to understand why it can be such a bad thing to do a transfer in early. I know some of you guys will be doing it to chase price rises and changes, and maybe you find yourself in a situation where you literally cannot make a transfer. If a player changes in price, you're ruled out of the transfer. I do understand that, and yeah, fair enough. Maybe that's reason to take a risk, but if not, just wait, guys. Just wait. There's no harm in waiting. We've also got Smith Rowe, Bernardo. No one's bringing in those out of our 100 experts. I don't think they're horrible shouts, but no one seems to be interested in them among our experts. And Rudiger, interestingly, is actually being transferred out by a few of our managers. So no one is bringing in Rudiger out of our 100 experts, but a few people are taking them out. We're going to talk about that, I think, a little bit more in the next slide. Come on, let's get to the next slide. So these are the most popular transfers out. We can see that Chilwell is at the top there. Completely understandable. We've got an injury here. If you have Chilwell, he's kind of going to be a priority transfer out, particularly if he's out for more than a couple of weeks. And, because there's so many game weeks smushed into a small amount of time, even if Chilwell's kind of only out for 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks, he's going to miss, 6-7 game weeks. So it's going to be a lot of game weeks out for Chilwell. So if he is out, and it really looks like he is going to be out for a significant amount of time, I hope he's not, but if he is, he is the top priority player for you to replace. So definitely you want to be taking him out. You can see Havertz there as well, another top player that you might want to be removing from your team. He's kind of not showing too much promise, but also we've got Werner, Lukaku back in the Chelsea team, which is going to seriously limit Havertz minutes. People getting tired of Rafinha and Antonio there. Diaz, I think a lot of people are removing when we're kind of focusing a little bit more on the fullbacks. Diaz is a good make weight for that. And similarly, you can see 4 people also took out Rudiger, 4 out of 100. So yeah, quite a lot of people removing Rudiger. I know in yesterday's video I suggested, guys, that maybe you should avoid going for Rudiger and focus your attention instead on the fullbacks. Our 100 experts agree, but I know a lot of people were saying, Dan, you're absolutely crazy. Rudiger is a great pick. You have to pick him. He's going to be absolutely amazing. But really, genuinely, I'm not trying to say that there's one right answer. I'm not trying to say that I'm definitely right or the experts are right, but there is a real strong indication that we should be focusing on the fullbacks and kind of trying to move away a little bit from those centre-back players. And if you have Rudiger already, that's fine. That's great. That's really good. You keep Rudiger in your team. You stick with him. That's awesome. But if you're trying to bring in a new defender, I really would recommend, and the experts recommend as well, bringing in a fullback, and we're going to kind of see that in this next slide as well. So let's get to that. So this is my favourite page in the entire video. Every single time we do this video, I love this page because this, to me, is our shortlist. If we are wanting to make a transfer for game week 13 in this instance, these are the players we should be having a look at to try and bring in. And as you can see, once again, Reece James is dominant. 25, so 25% of all of our managers brought in or are bringing in Reece James this week. You can completely understand why. He's just been phenomenal recently, and he's kind of becoming almost an essential pick in many ways. So really super crucial player to bring in right now. Everyone's kind of in agreement here. James is the player to bring in, and when we consider 25% are bringing in James, how much of the rest of the 100 experts already have James? Probably like 50%. So James is going to become one of those players where most people, especially in the higher ranks or the more dedicated FPL managers, most people are going to own James by the deadline. I'm really sure about this. He's going to be more than 50% owned for sure. We've got Jota in here as well. Really good replacement for Havertz in particular. So that's a really nice pick there. We've got Gallagher here as well. I was kind of surprised to see Gallagher transferred in by that many players, but he's quite an easy player to get into your team because of his price point, and it's a really nice way on getting on that Crystal Palace attack that does look quite nice, doesn't it? We've also got Trent in there. A few people still don't have Trent, which is crazy to me, but a few people still don't have Trent, so maybe those people are trying to catch up, get Trent in their team, before it's too late, I guess. We've got Alonso in there, Cancelo as well. So again, fullbacks. We're focusing on fullbacks. Alonso, interestingly, because Chilwell's going to be out. Chilwell's going to be out for at least a little while. So Alonso becomes this really nice transfer target who is probably going to play most games when Chilwell can't play. Alonso's going to be playing most of those games. And I know a few of you guys will be saying Azpilicueta came off the bench for Chilwell when Chilwell got injured in the midweek games. But Thomas Tuchel has confirmed that was kind of a mistake on his part, and he actually apologised to Alonso because he was already planning on bringing on Azpilicueta for James, and then Chilwell got injured, so he brought on Azpilicueta on for Chilwell kind of without really thinking about it, and he would have actually really preferred to put Alonso on in that position instead. So that's what happened there. Alonso, definitely a really good pick if Chilwell is going to be out for a long while as well. We've kind of got a few other players in there. Cancelo, Benteke may be of interest, and the rest of the players, it's just kind of a couple of people transferring in each of those players. Could be okay shouts, but certainly not enough transfers in to create a pattern or anything like that. So with that all said and done, guys, I think what we do now is suggest some transfer moves for you guys to make. So first of all, if you have Chilwell, you're going to have to replace him. So the obvious answer is to go for Reece James. It's a really, really obvious answer. If you can afford to do Chilwell, if you've got Chilwell and you haven't got Reece James, Chilwell to James is super, super obvious. Just do it. Don't even think about it. This is not this is one of, I like to say a slam dunk transfer. It's one of those transfers that I think is just so obvious. You just do it, really, really obvious. If you do already have James or you can't afford James or something like that, there are some other options as well. You can take Chilwell to Trent Alexander-Arnold if you don't have him yet. You can take him to Cancelo if you don't have him yet. Or I'm imagining most of you guys do not have Alonso. So as a worst case scenario, if you've already got James, Trent, Cancelo, you can go for Alonso there as well. Could be pretty nice, right? Maybe you guys even prefer Alonso to some of the other players. I mean, I can kind of understand why you would, to be honest. It could be really interesting. We know Alonso's kind of on free kicks. We know how attacking he plays. So actually could be genuinely a pretty good transfer move to bring in. Maybe even better than some of the other guys. So yeah, absolutely, I kind of like it a lot. Also, we've kind of got, if we're forgetting about Chilwell, maybe you don't have Chilwell, maybe you've got a Diaz or a Rudiger, but you really want to get involved in these fullbacks. Maybe you can do Diaz to James, Trent, Cancelo, Alonso, someone like that. So if you want to switch a Diaz or a Rudiger or a centre back, a pretty expensive centre back, maybe you have in your team, Van Dijk, maybe, I don't know who you guys have got, but if you have a premium centre back in your team and you want to switch him to a fullback, now could be a pretty good time to do that, because that really seems like the way everyone is going. That's kind of the emerging expert template, is to go for all of those fullbacks. But we've got a few more transfer suggestions to you that are not to do with these defenders, because maybe you're sick of hearing about the defenders, guys. So, Havertz to Jota. If you are a Havertz owner, taking him straight to Jota, again, to me, is a super slam dunk transfer. So easy to do, just bang it in. We know Havertz is more expensive than Jota, so there should not be a scenario where you're unable to do this transfer. Everyone who has Havertz can do this transfer. If you don't have Jota already, really, really easy to make that simple switch to a Jota who has got good fixtures. We know Firmino is out for the time being. We know that we've got kind of Mane and Salah. They're going to be leaving for the African Cup of Nations in January, so that's going to give more opportunities for Jota there as well. All in all, looking pretty good there to go Havertz to Jota. It's an easy transfer to make if you have Havertz. We also got Rafinha to Jota. If you don't have Havertz, maybe you have Rafinha and you can afford to go from Rafinha to Jota. That's a pretty good move as well. And Rafinha to Gallagher is our final one. If you can't afford to upgrade Rafinha to Jota, maybe you quite fancy a little go on Gallagher. Get involved in that Crystal Palace attack there, and just getting involved in the Crystal Palace attack, which is looking pretty good under the era. Pretty nice there. So there we go, guys. Those are the suggested transfers. But without further ado, I think we have a look at some of the captain picks. And guys, I mean, there's not going to be too many surprises who the top captain pick among our experts is there. I'm not going to surprise you here, but let's have a look anyway. And there you go, guys. No surprise whatsoever. Salah this week at 93%. So 93 out of our 100 FPL experts, pundits, pros, content creators, everyone, bloggers, vloggers, podcasters. Out of the 100 of them, 93 are going for Salah. That is pretty huge. It's not the highest we've had, but it's up there. I think this is one of the highest we've had so far this season in terms of percentage of players going for the same captain. So Salah, super obvious captain pick. If you have any doubts whatsoever of who you want to go for, the real simple answer is to go for Salah. And the only reason you wouldn't want to go for Salah is if you are really want to be differential, you really want to try something different, and you are kind of desperate to make rank or something like that. Even then, I would not personally recommend it. And looking at these experts picks as well, they probably wouldn't recommend it either. But if you do want to go for someone else, there are a couple other players that our experts are going for. Kane versus Burnley, that's at 2%. Saka versus Newcastle, that's a really strange one. I was kind of surprised to see 2 people go for Saka against Newcastle. I think FPL Animate was one of the 2 who went for Saka. He makes actually really good animated FPL videos here on YouTube. So yeah, worth checking out. Even if he is going for some strange captain shouts, it'd be interesting to see how Saka does for him there. Someone's going for Reece James. Pretty interesting. You can kind of understand why though, how explosive he's been. Jimenez against Norwich, attacking the fixture maybe, and Trent Alexander-Arnold with all the success he's had with points recently. He's been outscoring Salah over the past few game weeks, to be fair, Trent, so you can kind of see why someone might be tempted by Trent versus Southampton, a home game as well. But yeah, those are the differentials, but once again, we are in a situation where it's all about Salah for captain, and if you're brave enough to go for someone else, then you know, you're perhaps taking a little bit of a risk there. But that's kind of up to you guys. That's kind of your thing. And there we have it, guys. That is the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy this today. If you did, please do leave a like. If you're new around here, you want regular FPL content on your screens, please do subscribe as well. That would be massively appreciated. I don't know what our next subscriber goal is now. Now we've hit 100,000. I have no idea what our next goal is, but I guess we'll just keep pushing on. Hopefully we'll hit 200,000 at some point. I don't know if it'll take years or whatever, but yeah, we'll aim for that, I guess. But yeah, guys, 2 more videos this week. We've got our team selection video. That's going to be tomorrow, so I'm going to be showing you my team selection and the transfers that I'm going to be making this week. And then on Friday we're going to do a very special video where we're going to be comparing some different midfielder options, which I think is going to be really useful for those of you who are looking for new midfielders in your FPL team. We're going to have a look at that, so yeah, do stay tuned for that. Like I say, yeah, coming soon, and then perhaps we'll do a deadline stream. We'll probably do a deadline stream on Saturday as well. That's what we usually do after all. So yeah, there we go, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you later, mates. Bye bye.